Hey everybody, this is Ashley with Publish with Ashley, and today I'm going to tell you or teach you how to rock KDP titles and get more sales. Because guess what? Your title and subtitle and author name are super important. And in this video, we're actually going to focus on your titles, and then I'm going to do a second part that I'll publish in a few more days down the road as the subtitles, but I wanted to separate them out so that you can really get a feel for titles and how that works with SEO and kind of strategies that you can do. So we're going to talk a little bit about titles first and SEO and Amazon and how it works, and then I'm going to go into specific examples. I am a learn by example person, and maybe you guys are too. So I wanted to do some specific examples of things on KDP that I saw they did right or wrong, or just trying to kind of give my thoughts. If this was my title, what type of things would I do or not do, or what would I be thinking about? So I hope this is really helpful for you. Let's get right into it. Okay, so first we are going to talk about titles. So I had someone on my YouTube channel ask really great questions about titles, and I was already planning on doing this video, but I thought I would kind of incorporate some of their questions because they really got at the heart of what I wanted to talk about. And so I thought, let's use them. So thank you for asking questions, and thank you for asking me questions on YouTube, Facebook, so that I can help you guys. All right, so the question was, should you use the main keyword in our title or subtitle, right? This is a question you get a lot, like, do you have to use it? Well, yes and no. No, you aren't forced to do anything. This is your book. You can do whatever you want. But yes, you do want to use the keyword, the main keyword you're looking for in your title or subtitle or backend keywords. Let me kind of explain what I mean by this so that you can kind of understand what you need to do to give your book the best chance of being seen by people, okay? If you're just going to do organic, right? So Amazon uses, in order to decide what to index your book, your title, then your subtitle, your author name, and then your 7 keyword boxes in the back end. That's how it decides what to do to index them. What words that when people type in is your book going to show up for that search. Okay, so remember, title, subtitle, author name. So do you have to use the main keyword in your title? No, obviously, but your title is the number one thing they look for keywords. Okay, so you have to think about that and what that means. Now, your main keyword does need to be in there somewhere, or you aren't going to get ranked for it. So if it's not in the title, subtitle, author name, or the back-end keywords, then you're not going to find it. I do want to mention something about the author name. I know there's a lot of people who, they don't want you to stuff keywords into your author name. There's people getting their accounts rejected. There's people getting notes. Author name is a keyword indexed term because a lot of people, when looking for fiction or nonfiction books, not low content books, but books, they're looking for Stephen King, Nora Roberts, or their favorite author, right? They're going to type in Stephen King, and Stephen King hopefully should come up for that search. If they don't, Amazon isn't happy because the customer isn't happy. So you want to avoid any type of keywords in the author name. So don't put books, don't put the keyword in there, put a name, put a publishing name, put something generic, and make sure you Google that name and look for any trademarks, things like that. You really want to make sure it's kind of a vanilla type name, that it's not coming up for a keyword that Amazon doesn't want it to. So really do look for that, because that's a poor customer experience in Amazon's point of view. If you have Stephen King in there and your book comes up for Stephen King and it has nothing to do with that and shouldn't because you aren't Stephen King, then the customer's upset, Amazon's upset, and you will be upset when Amazon gets upset at you. So just note that. Okay, now you are more likely to rank if your title versus the keyword boxes, meaning that since it's in that order, your keyword, if it's in the title versus the keyword boxes, you're more likely to rank if it's in the title. So that's just something to consider. Another thing is repetition is not going to make your rank any higher. Like, so if you put, let's see, your keyword is cats. If you put cats in the title, cats in the subtitle, and cats in the back-end keyword, it is not going to help you. In fact, it's just a waste of space. Once you've put it in the keywords, the keyword meaning the back-end keyword, title, subtitle, once you have that word in there, it doesn't matter where it is as far as, yes, you want your most important keywords closer up in rank as far as title, subtitle, and then eventually back-end keywords, but it doesn't matter if you put it more than once. It actually just doesn't help at all. So there's no reason to repeat your keywords. Now, I do want to note this as well. Your exact title must be on the cover and spine. Okay, I know for a lot of artistic reasons, people don't like to mess up their front cover because they don't want the title to be on the cover. It does have to be on the cover or on the spine. That's just a rule. That's how it is. And honestly, I don't think you should worry too much. I mean, you have to worry about that it's aesthetically pleasing and things like that. But if you just have journal or 16-month calendar at the very corner of your design, it's really not going to detract, at least from the buyer's point of view. So I wouldn't stress too much about that. Do make sure your exact title is on the cover or the spine, or both. All right. Another question was, I've seen a number of self-published books with a good BSR which don't include the main keyword in the title, subtitle, or cover. How are those books selling? Okay, so there's so many reasons. I know people they really ask the question like, my title, my keyword is in my title and I'm not showing up on the first page. Well, there's reasons those other people are showing up in front of you. So let's talk a few things. Back-end keywords, they could have those words, those keywords in the back end, and so you're just not seeing them. Now, if that is happening, usually they have these other things. Past sales, reviews. Do you remember that a book that has reviews, even good and a few bad ones, does mean that customers have purchased it and they've thought enough about it to actually make a review, and so that is some sort of validation in Amazon's mind. So the algorithm does take into effect that a book has reviews, and it would probably rank higher than a book that has no reviews at all for those types of keywords. Now, they may have a following, email list, a Facebook group, a web page. They may be doing Facebook ads. You do not know what they are doing in the back end. So they might be putting money into it, and you're thinking, oh, it's so unfair they're first. Well, they might be putting thousands of dollars into that. You don't know. They might be putting hundreds, maybe 10. It doesn't really matter. They are actually marketing their book, okay? So they might also be doing Amazon ads. Just because you're not seeing an ad at that particular time, they may not have won that bid. So they might be doing ads you're just not seeing, or they're doing ads for different keywords, and then that's ranking them higher because they're getting reviews, they're getting sales, and Amazon's saying, oh, these words are in their back-end keyword and it's selling, and these back-end keywords are kind of like this one, so we think we'll push it higher because we know it sells. Okay. They might be doing affiliate advertising on YouTube or Facebook or who knows, right? They may be doing something you're totally not seeing, and they market their book, right? So you can't just assume that someone put that up there and it organically got there. You can't even assume that they're using Amazon ads and got there, because there could be so many reasons. I actually saw one book that's selling really, really well on Amazon because of their YouTube following. They have a YouTube channel, and they're selling through your YouTube channel. So, they're an avid YouTuber and they have a book. That's fine. Like, they are doing marketing in the back end. Okay? And very last, luck. Yes, it happens. Luck does happen. Because guess what? For the first 30 days, you get a push by Amazon for your keyword, subtitle. They are going to try and show your book to more people Maybe not every single time. So if you're searching for your own book, you may not find it, but they are going to try and push your book and see how the audience responds, right? So they're going to see if it gets sales. And if you get sales, then they're going to show your book more often to those types of keywords. And if you get more sales, it's a snowball rolling downhill, right? So luck can happen. I wouldn't depend upon luck happening to you, but it can happen. So sometimes you just get lucky. All right. Now, can I create a book title and subtitle with other relevant keywords and not add the main keyword in the title? Yes. Yes, you can do that. But you have to make sure to put them in the back end. Now, remember, you are launching your book with a disadvantage. The number one things that Amazon looks for are this title and subtitle, right? Or number 1 and 2, right? So you're kind of putting your book at a disadvantage. That's okay. You just need to consider that you might have to market it. Whatever method you want to market it, Pinterest, social media, YouTube, Amazon ads. You can do all of that, any of that, some of that. So you just have to think about that when you are putting the book out there. If you are putting it out there without the main keywords you're looking for in the title and subtitle, the likelihood of being shown to your main keyword that you're trying to get that keyword to people to buy on that keyword, it's probably not going to happen, right? So think of it like saying, here, kitty, kitty, or dogs, right? They really respond well for treats. So if you're like trying to train a dog to do something, you give it a treat, right? So if you don't give the dog the treat, it's not going to come to you. It's going to just look at you funny. Or maybe, if the dog likes you, it will. But you're just trying to, if you don't put the stuff out there, you're just not going to rank for that. Now, the other thing you could do, and this is something you kind of got to think in your strategy, is you could start by focusing on a smaller niche market that has potential to reach your main keyword. This is what I actually suggest. It's hard sometimes to get the huge, big keywords, right? But you can start on a smaller niche, and you obviously have that big keyword maybe in your title or maybe in your back end, but it starts to rank for other things. So here's my example. Shark coloring book. Your focus is probably obviously younger boys. Boys are into sharks. If it's a coloring book, it might, adults and kids, that's a totally different market as far as coloring books are concerned. But sharks are popular for girls as well. So you might actually get girls to start, liking the book Shark coloring book. Girls and boys could definitely be into that. But your back-end keywords might be more focused on that smaller niche of boys, that sort of thing, gift for, kids, that sort of thing. But it starts to get sales. And as it starts to get sales, Amazon, like I said, will start pushing it towards larger audiences that they think will purchase it. So it's not just for boys, it might be, girls as well. It might be a larger age group. So coloring, it does have a very specific age group of certain types of things, very simple shapes for younger and a little bit more complex shapes. But you might have a coloring book for like 5 to 8-year-olds, but it still might appeal to the 5 to 11-year-olds, right? It just depends on the coloring. So you can start to kind of move into larger or wider markets if you're focused on something small, and as it gets sales, it can move into larger markets. So you might start ranking for coloring, the word coloring book, and not just shark coloring book for kids. So that's kind of the idea. You might see when you type in coloring book, coloring books that are specifically about animals. Like one I'm going to show you later is A is for animals. And that's ranking when I type in coloring books, that's showing up on the first page. And it's because they started with a small market, marketing towards kindergartners learning the ABCs, but it's starting to rank for coloring book. Okay, and it's because they started focusing on a small market, and because they got sales and reviews and all those things, it moved to a larger market. Okay, so here's my examples. I'm going to kind of talk about each one. Some of these I do have the subtitle for, but in the next video, we're going to go over some subtitle hints, and I'm actually going to either use the subtitle they had or tell you my suggested rewrite for a subtitle, but I do for some of these have some subtitles so I can kind of point out and make some comparisons and things. Okay, so the first one is gratitude journals. If you are making a gratitude journal, you need gratitude journal in there, but you can't just call it gratitude journal. You can try, but that's going to be hard for you to rank for. So what you're going to do is kind of focus on something a little smaller. And these are kind of some examples. So this first one, I'm grateful every day. Now, you are going to want to make sure with a title like this, which can make a very beautiful artwork and something people would kind of understand. It's about gratitude. And then in your subtitle, you would definitely have to have the words gratitude journal. So you're going to want to make sure that keyword does show up, but you could use it in the subtitle instead of the title, which is still a very important part of that keyword SEO ranking strategy. Now, here's another great one. Not your average gratitude journal, right? They kind of did something a little bit different, but snuck that keyword in there, gratitude journal, right? And you obviously could have a good subtitle. So we're going to forget subtitles for a second because we're just going to focus on titles. A year of gratitude, right? So they're focusing on somebody who's putting like 365 or yearly gratitude journal, something like that. And then the next line was, it was a year of gratitude. And then the next line said a journal for kids. So their specific focus market, that was their full title, is really focused on a gratitude journal specifically focused at kids. Okay. Now, a year of mindfulness. I thought this was a really good one because it really focuses in on another word that's kind of associated with gratitude journals, which is a lot of people are kind of saying being in the moment, being mindful. And so this is something you could definitely have a different type of keyword in your title, but then you're going to want to include either gratitude journal in your subtitle or in your backend keywords. And maybe you want your subtitle to focus on that whole mindfulness aspect instead of gratitude journal, but you could still have that in your backend keywords. But like I said, when I typed in gratitude journal, these are ones that came up for gratitude journal. So they started maybe somewhere else, like a year of mindfulness, but it's eventually ranking at the bigger keyword gratitude journal. Okay, now the next one was gratitude journal for teen moms, teen girls and moms. And then their subtitle was shared prompts for connection and joy. I thought this was a great one because it's a very specific market, and the subtitle was shared prompts for connection and joy. And I kept it on here because I wanted to show you they had a whole purpose for this gratitude journal. It wasn't just a gratitude journal. It was something to connect mothers and daughters. Okay, so that's something that you could definitely have Mother's Day in the back end keyword, Mother's Day gift, things like that. Okay, so this has a very specific purpose, but it's starting to rank for gratitude journals as a big whole. So that's kind of what you want to do is you want to, yes, you want it to eventually rank for gratitude journals, but you want that book to have a specific purpose. All right, next one, dream journal. I like this one, the Deliberate Dreamer's Journal. I thought that was very creative. They were trying to make it, I don't know, prettier than just dream journal, right? Yet again, you're going to want to make sure dream and dreamer is close, but you're going to want to make sure you're going to have the word dream somewhere in the back-end keywords or the subtitle. Celestial Journal. It was so pretty. The cover on this was super pretty, and I thought Celestial Journal sounded really, I don't know, artsy, and it matched the cover really well. But yet again, you're going to want to make sure Dream Journal is in the subtitle at the very least. Now, Book of Dreams, and then the next line was Nightly Dream Journal. Now, the reason I have dream underlined in this is because, like I said, you do not want to repeat keywords. Amazon's kind of picky about that, more so lately than previously. This one, I don't know, they might let it go because it's part of the title and it's kind of part of the artwork, how they did it. But I would probably do something else, maybe Book of Imaginations, or I'm not sure what I would call it, and then call it Nightly Dream Journal. But you could just put Book of Dreams Nightly Journal and not necessarily repeat the word dream. Or you could use a synonym for dream, something like that. I would definitely not, in this day and age, repeat the keywords in the title or subtitle. I know people do get away with it, but Amazon's getting better at creating bots that make sure that that doesn't happen. So I would avoid trying to use the same word over again. I would try and come up with a synonym or something else, or reword it. Dream journal for kids. Yet again, this was a book with a very specific purpose. They're aiming at kids. You could have a dream journal for teen girls. You could have dream journal for something, right? That makes it a lot more specific so that you were focusing on a smaller niche. Okay, coloring book. I said this one already. A is for animals, and then I think the subtitle is like kids coloring or preschool coloring book or coloring book for kindergartners or something like that. So this was a good one in that it had something fun in the sense that A is for animals, right? There's kind of that idea that A is for apple or B is for boy, that sort of thing that gets said really often. So you have it in your mind already, the reader, that it's a beginning letter type book and then it's a coloring book. And they're learning the letters of the alphabet by coloring animals. So they're going to rank for a coloring book for animals and things like that. But yet again, you're going to want to make sure in the subtitle you have the words coloring book. And probably coloring book for preschoolers, kindergartners, whoever you're aiming at. Stress relief coloring book for adults. This was a great title. It's very specific and exactly who it's for. I know it's kind of probably an overused title at this point in time, but you could see the people who came up with this title first and got their book out there and selling, they probably are selling really well at this point in time. So if you can connect some trend to that's out there, like in this case, coloring books became a very stress relieving type activity. So someone connected coloring books and stress relief for adults all into that title, and they started doing well. So this is kind of one that's been used, but it, definitely has what you're looking for in a title, right? It has keywords, it has a focused purpose, that sort of thing. This one was good, and it just came out, I think, Valentine's Day Animals Coloring Book for Kids. This is very specific. It's a Valentine's Day Animals, so it's hearts and love and little cute animals, and it's a coloring book for kids. So it's a very specific title for a very specific thing. But it was ranking for the term coloring books. Okay, so you could see how even if you focus in on something very niche to start with, it can move up the chain and get to coloring books. The next one was guest book. And this one had some really great variety. I really enjoyed going through this one to try and find interesting and unique titles. I've got a few subtitles and do's and don'ts in this one just because I couldn't help myself. Welcome Baby Girl. I thought this one was really great because it definitely gives you a very specific subject, baby girl, right? And it's welcome, right? So it was meant to be a shower guest book, baby shower guest book. So theirs was Welcome Baby Girl, and then it had shower something guest book or something like that. But it's very specific. It looked really pretty because it had welcome and then baby girl and then the appropriate graphics that was really cute. But it was very specific to the niche and to what it is. But you're going to want to include guest book in the subtitle. Bathroom guest book. I love this one because it was focused on a specific niche. Now, if it's a bathroom guest book, it's obviously kind of a humor, sarcastic, maybe a white elephant gift, something like that. And so you want those type of people searching for funny white elephant gift or something like that. You might want that in the subtitle because that's what you're kind of aiming at, something like that. So this is one of those ones where it really has a specific purpose and it's kind of a funny gag gift type thing that you would get for someone for, I'm not sure what reason, but it would definitely be something on the humor reason. So you definitely want that in the subtitle, right? And so when people are searching for funny gift for a coworker or elephant gift or white elephant gift or something like that, this would come up. And it also it came up for a guest book. It was being, purchased by quite a few people. So who knew? Okay, guest book. And then it was vacation holiday home beach guest books. Whew. Okay, so that was the whole title. And that did not look pretty on the cover. And it was selling okay, not great. This was actually one that wasn't selling really all that great. but it just didn't work. There's too many things shoveled in there, right? First off, they used guestbook twice. Yes, I know one has a space and one doesn't, but do remember Amazon corrects for common misspellings. So guestbook, not space, and guestbook with 2 words, Amazon's got you covered. They know people squish them together and pull them apart. They know that's kind of a common thing. Same with like logbook. They know that logbook is commonly together or apart. So they've got that covered. And then it was awkward. They've got like the right keywords all in there, but it is not pretty. I would probably put, vacation or beach vacation guest book. And then I would have all that other stuff in my subtitle because it made it not very pretty. Now, guest book for vacation home beach edition. This one, on the other hand, I thought they did a much better job. The only critique I have in this is, see, I underlined the F. They had that lowercase. Okay, so you want in a title every word to be capitalized. Say all the first letters capitalized. I know that sometimes you can have 4 or 2 and things like that not capitalized. Don't do it. Just go with every single word capitalized because that's pretty much standard in the US. And it never looks bad to have every single word capitalized. And that goes for the subtitle as well. If you capitalize everything in the subtitle, you're going to be fine. I know in subtitles it is more common to have like with, the, of, not capitalized, but I always go with capitalized because it's consistency. It's all about consistency. If you look consistent in the way you write things, it just looks more professional. So easy way to go is just capitalize all the words and you don't have to worry. Okay, so that was a much better one. Now, I had to do this whole one. Happy retirement to you from all of us message book. Actually, that's a really great title. I thought this was really well done. The cover looked really good. And it's a very specific targeted market, and it's got a lot of things in there. Keyword retirement and gift. Well, actually, I didn't have it right there. It has gift log in the next subtitle, but message book, and it's from people, right? This was actually because some people look for like gift from all of us, so that might come up too. So this was really well done. What I didn't like was the subtitle. I know we're supposed to be talking about titles, but I wanted to kind of go through this one a little bit, just give you some ideas what I'm going to talk about later on good and bad on subtitles. So guest book, they reuse the word book. I know that's hard to do, but come up with a way to not do it. Keepsake, that's fine, but there's so much stuff here. Okay, guest book keepsake with 100 formatted lined and unlined pages. Do not put any of that in the subtitle. They don't like number of pages. You might want to put unlined, that might work, but I actually wouldn't include that in the title at all. I would put it all in the description because people aren't really looking for that sort of thing in a guest book. With quotes might be okay. Like I said, the word gift is good. Photo pages, that's good. And don't put the size. They have like 8x8 paperback retirement gifts. Don't do any of that. Okay, so there was a lot on this. But I would just put something like, and I'll go through in my next one when I go through subtitles, I'm going to rewrite this and show you how I would rewrite that subtitle. But the title itself is very good. But the problem I had with it was the subtitle. There's like a lot of no-nos. Now, this I think was published a while ago, and so that was probably legal back so long ago, but not today. Don't do this today. That was my last one. But I wanted to make sure you guys had titles and understood how SEO works for titles, give you some examples of good and bad and things to think about. Just like I said, if you're going to put welcome baby girl, you want to make sure guest book is in your subtitle, because if that's obviously a word you're going to shower or guest book is something you want to rank for. Bathroom guest book, same thing in the sense that it's kind of a gag gift, so you're going to want that sort of phrasing in your subtitle so that you can rank for that. And maybe other words obviously that fit in your backend keywords, but some of the main things you're trying to focus on, groups, audiences, you're going to want to have in your title and then your subtitle. Okay, so I hope this was helpful for you, and I will be back with part 2 to talk about subtitles. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video.